Skull Nation, stop scrolling. US Bank Stadium just got hit with a truth bomb that's louder than any free agent rumor. A former Vikings quarterback just threw shade at the organization. A proposed trade has analysts split. And Stephen A. Smith is getting roasted for hypocrisy that nobody saw coming. 3 stories, 1 brutal reality. And the first fact already on the table. Nick Mullins, the backup who saw it all from the inside, just went public defending Sam Darnold and calling out Minnesota's decision-making. But that's not even the wildest part, because while the Darnold what if haunts every purple-blooded fan, one analyst wants the Vikings to trade J.J. McCarthy for Kyler Murray. And another ESPN personality is getting destroyed for flip-flopping on the exact move he's now criticizing. If you bleed purple louder than you regret letting Darnold walk, hit like and let Seattle know who fumbled the Super Bowl. We start with the insider story that pulls back the curtain on Minnesota's collapse. And it's not what the front office wants you to believe. Stay locked, there's a double cliffhanger at the end. Locker room whispers, veteran perspective, and one quote that makes the Vikings front office squirm. The player, Nick Mullins, Minnesota's backup quarterback from 2022 to 2024, acquired via trade with the Las Vegas Raiders for a conditional 7th-round pick. The target of his defense? Sam Darnold. And here's why this stings. Mullins opened up in an ESPN piece by Kalen Kaler, breaking his silence on how Minnesota handled Darnold's late-season collapse in 2024, the collapse that convinced the Vikings to let him walk, only to watch him hoist the Lombardi Trophy in a Seattle Seahawks uniform weeks ago. According to Mullins, the blame dropped on Darnold's shoulders was unfair, and the veteran didn't hold back. A lot was put on his shoulders to really lead the team to 14 wins, Mullins stated. And now that he's got a complete football team, I'm not totally surprised. The run game is really good in Seattle. That's the first shot. Here's the second. It was not only Sam's fault, Mullins continued. To say that 2 weeks before those games, he was a top-desired, top-dollar free agent, and then he plays 2 bad games after winning 14, and then I don't know if he truly is the guy or not. To go from that high to that low, I think, is an unfair judgment. 2 bad games, 14 wins erased by 2 losses. And now Darnold is a Super Bowl champion, while Minnesota is scrambling to find his replacement in a barren quarterback market. Mullins' words pull back the curtain on what really happened inside that locker room. A front office panic, a coaching staff second-guessing, and a fan base left wondering what could have been if the Vikings had just stayed the course. The what if isn't just painful, it's crushing. What if Minnesota kept Darnold and let J.J. McCarthy sit and develop? What if they'd given Sam the offensive line improvements and run game support Seattle provided? What if the front office hadn't overreacted to 2 playoff losses and instead trusted the quarterback who won 14 regular season games? Those questions will haunt US Bank Stadium for years. Do you agree with Nick Mullins that the Vikings unfairly blame Sam Darnold? Drop your take below. And if you believe Minnesota's front office panicked instead of leading, smash that like and let them hear you. But as brutal as that insider truth is, the next story is even more controversial. Because one analyst just proposed a trade that would send J.J. McCarthy out of Minnesota in exchange for a quarterback whose dedication to football is questioned, whose injury history is extensive, and whose downfield passing has collapsed. Nightmare scenario or bold gamble? Stay locked. Midnight trade proposal, analyst chaos, and one name that makes Skull Nation split down the middle. The quarterback? Kyler Murray. The proposal? Minnesota trades J.J. McCarthy to the Arizona Cardinals and receives Murray in return, reuniting him with 2-time All-Pro Justin Jefferson to form what Bleacher Report's Mo Mutton calls a high-level tandem that consistently puts up big numbers through the air. That's the fantasy. Here's the reality. Kyler Murray's career is a tale of 2 halves, and the second half is ugly. Over his first 3 seasons, 2019 to 2021, Murray threw 70 touchdown passes, 34 interceptions, posted a 93.9 passer rating, won Offensive Rookie of the Year, and earned 2 Pro Bowl nods. He was electric. Then everything changed. In the 4 seasons since, Murray has not looked the same. Injuries became a factor, including the foot injury that shortened his 2025 campaign and could impact the mobility that makes him unique. At 5'10" and just over 200 pounds, Murray was never built like a prototypical NFL quarterback. And now the durability questions are louder than ever. But the issues go deeper than health. The change from offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury to Drew Petzing hurt Murray, particularly as a downfield passer. His ability to stretch the field, the trait that made him dangerous early in his career, has evaporated. And then there's the elephant in the room: Murray's dedication to football. Questions about his commitment have followed him throughout his career, and that will not fly with Kevin O'Connell, who's entering a critical season where his job security is on the line. Amid all his other issues, McCarthy's work ethic has never been questioned. Moton predicted the Cardinals would land McCarthy or Kirk Cousins as part of this trade, but Brad Berriman of the Viking Age didn't mince words in his response, calling the Murray fit hard to see, and warning that if anything, Murray is being discussed simply as the next best option in a terrible quarterback market. That's not a ringing endorsement. That's desperation disguised as analysis. And Berriman's final verdict? If Murray isn't already on the wrong side of that name versus game line, he's straddling it and teetering toward falling to the wrong side. Translation: Murray's name still carries weight, but his game doesn't back it up anymore. Do you want the Vikings to trade J.J. McCarthy for Kyler Murray? Comment yes or no. And if you believe Minnesota should build around McCarthy instead of replacing him with a declining former #1 pick, hit that like and let the front office know. But as wild as that trade proposal is, the next story is the one that exposes media hypocrisy at its finest. Because the loudest voice criticizing Minnesota's quarterback decision just got caught flip-flopping on camera. And the receipts are brutal. Stay locked. Studio lights, loud takes, and one ESPN analyst who just got exposed for saying the opposite thing a year ago. The analyst? Stephen A. Smith. The target? The Minnesota Vikings and Kevin O'Connell. And the hypocrisy? Undeniable. Smith launched a fierce attack on the Vikings after Sam Darnold's Super Bowl victory, accusing the franchise of mishandling the quarterback position by allowing Darnold to leave in favor of J.J. McCarthy. On ESPN's First Take, Smith didn't hold back, saying, "The real answer to this question is the Minnesota Vikings," before outlining the talent he believes was wasted. He accused the team of overreacting to late-season struggles, stating, "So 2 bad games, and you threw them to the wolves," while insisting the move derailed their season and jeopardized the career of Justin Jefferson. Smith also questioned leadership, declaring that's why Kevin O'Connell no longer should be called the quarterback whisperer, before adding that O'Connell was lucky to have his damn job with that kind of decision. Those are strong words, but here's the problem. Stephen A. Smith said the exact opposite thing during the previous offseason. When the Vikings were deciding whether to commit financially to Darnold or roll with McCarthy, Smith argued against paying Sam, saying, "I'm saying you don't give him $40 million. You don't give him $40 million. You go with J.J. McCarthy, because how much of a difference will it be?" That clip resurfaced immediately after Smith's recent rant, and Vikings fans, analysts, and social media users pounced. The shift has intensified debate over hindsight and accountability, because Smith is now blaming the Vikings for making the exact decision he encouraged them to make just months earlier. It's not analysis, it's revisionist history. And it perfectly captures the impossible position Minnesota finds itself in. Criticized for letting Darnold walk, but also criticized when they considered keeping him. Damned if they do, damned if they don't. The reality is that nobody knew Darnold would win a Super Bowl in Seattle. Not Stephen A. Smith, not Kevin O'Connell, not the Vikings front office, and definitely not the fans who watched him throw 3 interceptions in a playoff loss to the Rams just weeks before he left Minnesota. Hindsight is perfect, foresight is messy, and Smith's flip-flop proves that loud takes don't always age well. Do you think Stephen A. Smith owes the Vikings an apology for his hypocrisy? Comment your hottest take. And if you're tired of national media personalities rewriting history to fit their narratives, smash that like and let them know Skull Nation remembers everything. But here's the edge of the cliff. This isn't just about media narratives. This is about Minnesota's future. Stay locked. 3 stories. 1 brutal lesson. The Minnesota Vikings are being judged from every angle, by former players, by analysts, and by national media figures who can't keep their takes straight. Nick Mullins pulled back the curtain and revealed the truth. Sam Darnold's exit wasn't just about performance. It was about a front office overreaction that turned 14 wins into 2 losses and a Super Bowl championship for another team. Kyler Murray is being pushed as the next solution, despite declining play, injury concerns, and questions about his dedication. A nightmare disguised as opportunity. And Stephen A. Smith exposed the impossible standard the Vikings face, criticizing them for a decision he encouraged them to make just months earlier. Minnesota doesn't fear judgment. Minnesota is being judged. This franchise just watched their former quarterback raise the Lombardi Trophy, while their current one struggles to stay healthy and their coaching staff fights for job security. Let's break down what this means. If Nick Mullins is right, and the Vikings unfairly scapegoated Darnold, then the front office made an emotional decision instead of a strategic one, and that same leadership is now tasked with fixing the mess they created. If the Vikings trade McCarthy for Kyler Murray, they admit their 2024 first-round pick was a mistake, and they gamble that a declining, injury-prone quarterback with commitment questions can resurrect his career in Minnesota. And if Stephen A. Smith's hypocrisy teaches us anything, it's that no decision will satisfy everyone. Hindsight will always create new narratives, and the loudest voices will always rewrite history. The NFC North is laughing. Green Bay's rebuild is ahead of schedule. Detroit is the division favorite. Chicago is 3 years away, but building smart. And Minnesota, stuck in purgatory, haunted by the ghost of Sam Darnold and paralyzed by uncertainty at the most important position in football. Here's what I need from Skull Nation. 1. Smash that. Like if you believe Nick Mullins told the truth and the Vikings should have kept Sam Darnold. 2. Drop a comment with your boldest prediction. Will the Vikings trade for Kyler Murray, bring back Kirk Cousins, or stick with J.J. McCarthy and draft a corner like Avion Terrell? 3. Subscribe because every single subscriber makes Packers fans furious, and we're about to flood the NFC North with the loudest fan base in football. But listen closely. Here's the edge of the cliff. One major decision is still pending. According to sources, this is a rumor. Justin Jefferson has privately expressed frustration with the quarterback uncertainty, and insiders say he's watching closely to see if the Vikings make a win-now move or commit to another rebuild. That conversation could determine whether Jefferson stays long-term or starts exploring his options when his window opens. And on top of that, the Arizona Cardinals are expected to make a decision on Kyler Murray's future within the next 72 hours. If they cut him, Minnesota becomes an instant landing spot. If they keep him, the Vikings pivot to Plan B, and nobody knows what that is. Plus, Kevin O'Connell's job security is thinner than most realize. One more losing season, and the hot seat becomes an inferno. That story drops next. Skull Nation, the storm is here. Hit subscribe, stay locked, and let's make the NFC North bleed purple while we figure out if this franchise can learn from its mistakes or if we're doomed to repeat them. We ride together. See you in the next war.